that QYLD is the best thing since sliced bread. Hey guys, we're back. It is Saturday. It's that time of the month. Not that time of the month. It's retire with less time of the month. This is a series where we go over a couple of paper portfolios, right, that I put together to try to see if we can make $250,000 stretch, right? Get income off of that $250,000 and see if we can possibly early retire off of a small amount of money, right? Dave Ramsey, Susie Orman, those types. A lot of the financial experts tell you that you need millions of dollars to retire. And I don't knock the people that get there, right? We actually had a negative, I had a very negative, I wouldn't call it very negative, but I had a comment on my $250,000 retirement budget plan that basically kind of reinforces what I'm talking about, right? Where people say, "Oh, that's horrible. Don't you can't do anything with $250,000." Dave Ramsey's right. You need millions. So, whatever. They called it pathetic. Is really it was the actual word, right? Now, the thing is, oh, just to let some of you guys know, I go through this monthly. I do a rant basically every month, and this is part of it. Basically, the statistic, I hate that word, by the way. The stat is that 97% of people don't have $250,000, right? 97%. So I'm part of that 97%. There's a ton of people out there that are in that basket, right? And we're talking people that have worked all their lives, that have raised children, that have made sacrifices to put their kids through school, worked, manual labor jobs, warehouse jobs, retail jobs, and they've done it all their life. Now, these people, a lot of them make $40,000 a year, $30,000 a year. And to call what I'm trying to do pathetic, because those people, just like myself, will never get to $1 million or $2 million. It's just not in the cards, right? Now, you can point to the choices that I made in life, right? I dropped out of school in the 6th grade, right? Okay, that doesn't mean that what I'm doing now is should just be written off, right? I know I'm not probably saying that right. Like I said, I don't script this stuff, so I'm just going off the top of my head with what I feel. There's a ton of people like me, right? And we've lived on $30,000, $36,000 a year our entire lives, right? 20,000. And why would we need millions of dollars to retire when we haven't even combined, even with me and my wife combined, haven't even probably even scratched $1 million in our 30 years of working, right? So this series is for the normal everyday person. Okay. They may be uneducated. They may even be educated, but like I said, they made sacrifices and made sure their kids and paid for their kids' schooling and stuff like that. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with you getting millions of dollars. I applaud you for doing it, right? But don't come down on the people that are trying to make it and call what they're doing pathetic. Because do you know how huge me obtaining $250,000 is? Right now my net worth is about 150. You know how huge that is to me? how big of an accomplishment that is for a man with a sixth grade education. That's I could never have imagined that, right? To be able to grow that over time, right? And I'm here just to encourage those people just like me that watch this. You can do it too, right? Will I get that? I hope I get to that $250,000. That's a huge milestone for someone like me, right? I actually recently went into our Social Security. We got the Social Security statements, and I wanted to see what my average earnings were over my whole lifetime, for one. And then I wanted to see what it was like when me and my wife combined our incomes. Me and my wife met in 1999, and we immediately combined our incomes. And you probably think, oh, well, you're fine. You're married. Well, I'll share with you some of the numbers. I'm not going to share with you our entire history, but I'll share with you our averages over our lifetime and our averages as a combined income couple. Okay. So enough of my rant. These two portfolios are paper portfolios. They were started with $250,000. We're trying to obtain $2,600 per month in income so that the people that can, usually live on $36,000 a year, a big chunk of that will be provided from that. And then, they can have some side income, side hustles. Maybe they're 62, they could start collecting Social Security and fill that gap if needed, right? So follow along, and we're going to first drop into the average incomes, just so we can look at a real world situation. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so this is my wife on the left. This is me on the right. So over our entire life, I've been working for 30 years. Okay. My wife, she didn't work for a real long period of time when we had kids, when we had our youngest. She separated employment and raised our kids, I should say. So her lifetime average is very small. So $8,540 for lifetime average earnings every year. Me, I've worked, the entire 30 years. My lifetime average, $23,506 a year. Okay. Now lifetime combined, this is two people combined, $32,000 a year. Okay. Now I wanted to do, since we were married, we got married or combined because we didn't get married in 99. She's probably going to comment down below, but we combined our income in 1999. And so the average for that time period is $25,911 for me, and for her was $11,034. So the married average combined is $36,945, and that's over since 1999. So what is that? 23 years. That's our averaged income according to Social Security statements over our combined lifetime. So to tell me that I'm going to need 2, 3, 4, Susie Ortman says $6 million to retire when we have lived on an average of $36,000 a year throughout our entire life, I don't see it. I don't see it. And I'm here to tell you that there's a lot of people that fall into this picture right here. There's tons of people in middle America, what you would call flyover states, that are just working, what some would consider menial jobs, right? And, they're plugging along just fine. They're living their life, right? as did we, right? I didn't get this big skipping meals. Okay, so we had a roof over. We always had a roof over our head. And we always had food on the table. Our kids were always clothed. Our kids were always taken care of. So, it. Enough of the rant. Let's get into it. So, December. Let's go over here to December, and our contracts from December. We had the 340 contract on QQQ and a 55 contract on TNA, and then we got $600 from RYLD. These contracts expired worthless, so all that went back into our cash bucket. So we ended with like $249,000 in cash. Okay, and then QYLD, they had that big payout, and that was able to give us $4,000 in excess cash because we need, like I said, $2,600 per month. So that was December. Now, how did January do with this market kind of correction that we're in? Did it fail? Let's check it out. So I kind of cleaned this up a little bit going into 2022. I just wanted to do that to try to make it a little easier to follow. So on this portfolio here, on this side, this is where I'm selling cash secured puts on indexes and holding a little bit of an income ETF for some stability and some guaranteed income every month. But the vast majority of this account is held in cold, hard cash. Okay. And I'm going to tell you why that's a huge advantage, and we'll see it here in a minute. So, we got the TNA, right? We were able on Monday to paper trade. We sold the TNA $40 strike out to February 18th. That's the next month's expiration on options. We sold 3 of those contracts. So because of this month being a little iffy, I decided to scale back just a hair, just so that we can shore up a little. I mean, keep a little bit more cash on the side, and be a little bit more safer on our strikes. Okay, so we got 3 contracts there. We collected $150 per contract. So what this means is that if TNA on February 18th is $40 or below, we would have to buy it at $40, even if it fell to 35, even if it fell to 30. Okay, now for that obligation, we got paid $150 per contract, and each contract represents 100 shares. So we would have to buy 300 shares at this price or lower if it closes on February 18th at that price or lower. Hope that makes sense. Okay, so we got $450 for those 3 contracts. Now on QQQ, I wanted to get down a little bit because last month we had the, what strike did we have? We had the $340 strike. So now we've got the $300 strike because QQQ is now down to $344.57. So I wanted to get a little bit safer, give us a little bit more room, breathing room down to the bottom. And for those 4 contracts, so if QQQ closes February 18th at $300 or below, we would need to buy 400 shares at $300. Okay, even if it goes down to $290, even if it goes down to $280, we would need to pay $300. Now for that obligation, we collected $335 per 4 contracts. Now this section here, cash needed to secure, this is simply 3 contracts or times 100 because each contract represents 100 shares. So 3 contracts times the strike price times 100. Okay, and that's $12,000. That's how much it would cost if these ended up at $40 or below. It would cost us $12,000. For QQQQ, it would cost us $120,000. Now, that 120,000 and 12,000, or this 132,000 combined, does not leave our account. Okay, it's just earmarked. Okay, and we were able to receive that income in advance into our account, and we can spend that. Okay. And then RYLD, we own 2,000 shares of RYLD. It paid 22.3 cents. We collected $446. Now, our income need is $2,600 a month. Now, for this month, because I wanted to be a little bit safer, a little bit more cautious because of the way the market's running, I decided to go ahead and utilize a lot of the cash that we have on the side. We have a ton of it on the side. So if you're not comfortable, you can scale back a little bit on the put contracts that you sell and use some of the cash. Nothing wrong with that, right? So in total, we received $2,236 in cash for selling those contracts, and also on top of the dividend from RYLD, leaving us short of our $2,600 month goal of $364. So that left us with, after withdrawing the $364 from our cash bucket, we now have $248,926.86 in cash. Now, what this is, cash minus secured. So this is this $116,926 is cash that's unencumbered. Okay, so it's you can pull it out, you can do whatever you want with it. It's not secured, so it's this amount minus the cash needed to secure the contracts. Okay. So, but the cash is still in your account. I'm just saying this is minus the secured. So we still have $248,926 sitting in cash in our account. Okay. But when we earmark the cash secured side, we have $116,926 available to us. Hope that makes sense. So we go down. I just wanted to show here also what we did in 2021, made $34,364 off of this strategy for an average of $2,863 a month. Okay. So like I said, our average need is $2,600 a month. So we were able to do that. And then down here, I just did a little bit of averages here. This will be our average. This is the running average. As we fill this out, we'll see what our average is a month. The yield on portfolio value. So this is the total portfolio value, right? This is the cash that is in there plus the market value of RYLD. So the yield on portfolio value is 0.76% for this month, for a total of 9.14% yield on the year annualized. Okay. So that is a usually extended version of an explanation of this side, and I hope that makes sense. Now, we're going to go take a look at QYLD. Now, QYLD, a lot of people think that QYLD is the best thing since sliced bread, except in this context. And I'm going to share with you why I say that, because you have to understand the context of this, right? We need $2,600 a month, each and every month to live, right? That was the goal of this, right? And we started both of these out with $250,000. This side grew to $293 now, but the QYLD side has not. Okay. Now here we go. QYLD. Last month we had an excess of cash, so I went in and bought another 100 shares to try to, boost our income. You'll notice I don't keep track of cost basis on this side because it really doesn't matter what your cost basis is. You're selling all you're pretty much spending everything you earn here, and you're in it for income. In my opinion, people shouldn't be selling income funds. If you buy an income fund, you should never sell it. You should reinvest. You know how you make this work? Let me get to that in a minute. So we went ahead and added another 100 shares to this, okay, because we had excess cash from the big QYLD payout of last month. So we went from 12,300 shares to 12,400 shares. QYLD, paid out 20.3 cents for January. And that gave us $2,517.20 for a short month. We were short $82.80. So we had to pull that from the cash balance. So now we're down to $1,979.09. So we can spend that $2,517.20. That's just a cash distribution. But the huge negative on this side is that we only have $1,979.09 in available cash. Whereas if you recall on the other side, we had, $116,000 in available cash. And we got $2,300 off of the put contracts in a fairly conservative way, I might add. Now, it's not as passive, mind you. Yes, I will give you that. But QYLD is just, you want to know how to make this work? You reduce your income that you need. Okay. Live off 75% of what QYLD's putting out, put in 25% more. So that would be what's 25%? That would be you'd need to take about 1,750 and then reinvest about 750. I'm just ballparking off the top of my head. Reinvest that every single month back into QYLD, and you can probably keep up with the income drop. You can increase your shares owned, right? You can buy shares at a cheaper and cheaper price because it just keeps falling for some reason, and hopefully it stabilizes here. But either one, you need to reduce your income need for QYLD, or two, you need to increase the amount of money that you put into it. One of the two needs to happen, right? Because if you needed $2,600 a month each and every month, yes, QYLD did it. But you are working with a very small margin of safety over here with only $2,000 sitting in your bank account. So what I'm saying is QYLD can work, right? I just mentioned the things you need to do to make QYLD work. If you can learn options just a little bit, because there's nothing complicated about this side of the portfolio. There really isn't very much complications to it at all. It's very simple. Selling puts on 2 indexes and collecting cash. Make sure you're safe. Make sure you have a good chunk of cash sitting on the side. They're really not complicated. Because we look at QYLD, it did work. It actually made more money on this side than the put side here. Look, we made $34,000 last year on this side, but we made $35,000 on QYLD. Average $2,900 a month. And we invested some of the excess back when we had opportunities to, but it's really hard to really reinvest it back when you're sitting on very little cash, right? So I hope that helps. I hope that helps the 97%. right? The 97% of people that are probably, making an average of $30,000, $35,000 a year over their lifetime, like me and my wife, right? So that comment that was there really just fired me up and made me want to do this more, right? Because I'm not going to sit here and tell you that all the hope is lost, right? Because it's not. You have options, literally options. You can do it, right? I really could have made them mad and said, retire on 125,000, right? Because think about it. If you had 125,000, which was half of this, essentially you just cut these numbers in half, right? And say you're 62 and you're collecting Social Security, and that combined with some side income, you're probably going to be okay, because you're used to living on $30,000, $36,000, $40,000 a year. My mother-in-law, she lived on Social Security. She worked menial jobs. She worked in the fields. She cleaned houses. She retired. She collects Social Security. You know how much her Social Security check was? It was about $800 a month. And you never went to her house and she wasn't cooking something. She wasn't feeding somebody, right? You came over. What do you want to eat? What do you want to drink? It's comments like that amaze me, because they really don't know real life of real people all across this country that are getting along just fine. And they really don't need the people to sit here and say, you need millions of dollars to retire. If you don't have millions of dollars to retire, throw your hands up and give up. I'm not here to do that. So that's my message. Retire with less. It can be done. If you can get millions of dollars, more power to you. Go enjoy life, for sure. But don't step on the people that are trying to make it. You guys have a good week. We'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye-bye. I am not a financial advisor. The information contained in this video is for entertainment and informational purposes only. It is not intended to be investment advice. Please seek a licensed professional for any investment, tax, or legal advice. Thank you.